I'm gonna back up. Hey guys, I'm Ellie and I'm a sophomore at JMU. And I just started leading at Broadway in the spring. So, how did you have a lot of fun tonight? Can I hear an oh yeah? If you're new to club, I want to welcome you. We are so glad that you got a chance to come out and hopefully have some fun. And if you've been 10,000 times before, thank you for coming back. We are so glad to see you. Last week, my friend Joe shared about Jesus being 100% man, and Jesus is someone that we talk a lot about here at Young Life. And I just ask that y'all can come into the community center and have an open mind about what you're going to hear from me or any of the other leaders as they share throughout the year. If you would just give me 10 minutes of your time and attention, I would love that, because I think what I'm about to share with y'all is really important. It definitely is to me. And so I want to ask, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever ridden a roller coaster? Okay, yeah. So have I. Well, more than one. But anyways, when I was in ninth grade, I went to Busch Gardens and was really, really excited for this ride called Apollo's Chariot. And I'm not sure if it's still there. Hopefully it is. If it is, you should go check it out. But how like the seatbelt system thing worked was it was a bar that you like pulled over your waist. So it wasn't like the ones that come over your head, but it was your own personal bar. And it kind of looked like, to me, the top of like those Razor scooters that are like short and then long. It kind of looks like a T. If that doesn't make sense to you, we can go to Busch Gardens sometime and we can ride Apollo's Chariot, assuming it's still there. And so I remember being in the car. We were in the very front row, and we had got in. My sisters were buckled, or seated in, however you want to say it. And I like kept trying to put my seat down, and it wouldn't stick. And I was like, what? What the heck? Like, theirs is working. And kind of like another minute passes, I'm like struggling to get this thing to click. And I'm like, okay, the ride's literally about to start.
Are you in my room? What are you doing?
Sarah, stop. I'm doing my club talk.
Talking so
And the attendant's like all the way in the back. I'm flipping out, like flailing my arms at this point. I'm like, the ride's about to start. I'm about to die. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Not really sure why I didn't just like get out of the car and run. But he comes, and with 2 simple clicks, I'm set to go. He makes me look like an idiot. And it really is kind of silly how panicked I was. I mean, it makes sense because I thought I was going to die, but looking back, I'm like, I'm an idiot. But so just like my fear and panic that I had on that ride, I'd like to share with y'all a similar situation from the Bible dealing with fear. And so first off, this is an eyewitness account. So the Bible, in this book, Luke, someone has witnessed this story, this account, and has decided to write it down because it's that important. And so Jesus was with his disciples, who are his absolute best friends. So picture you and all your best friends with Jesus. And they set out on a boat on the Sea of Galilee, which is like a very small lake, if you know anything about it. If you don't know anything about it, it's a very small lake. And it's pretty common that there were huge storms on this lake. Like, I read somewhere like 20-foot waves. So if you take 3 of me and stack me up on top of each other, that's not even like how big the waves could potentially be. And so even though some of the disciples were fishermen, they were like expert fishermen. It was late at night, and so they had no idea what kind of storm was about to come. So we're going to pick up in Luke chapter 8, verses 2 through 25. So, one day, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's go over to the other side of the lake." So they got into a boat and set out. As they sailed, he fell asleep. A squall, okay, those 20-foot waves, or 3 of me and more, coming around, it's crazy, came down on the lake so that the boat was being swamped, and they were in great danger. the disciples went and woke him, being Jesus, saying, Master, Master, we're going to drown. He got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided, and all was calm. Where is your faith? He asked his disciples. In fear and in amazement, they asked one another, Who is this? He commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him. So, can you guys imagine how the disciples are feeling? They're in this tiny lake in a tiny boat, and all this water's coming at them. They think they're going to die. And so I want you guys to think about a time when you've been the most panicked or afraid. And maybe it's been on a roller coaster, or maybe it's been before a big test, or maybe some other big event that just really filled you with terror. And I want to reread this verse 24, in the different version. And it says, And they went and woke him, being Jesus, saying, Master, Master, we are perishing, which means dying. And he awoke and rebuked the wind and the raging waves, and they ceased. And there was a calm. So think about it. All this chaos, all this stuff is going on, and then it's calm, it's silent. The disciples just stop. And so here in the midst of chaos, Jesus is asleep. Clearly, he's beyond exhausted, because if I was laying on a boat sleeping and there's buckets of water splashing on me and a loud wind, I wouldn't just be I'm gonna snooze. I would wake up. So unless I was close to dead tired, whatever that means. That's dumb. I didn't say that. I would absolutely wake up. And I love seeing this because it relates back to what Joe was saying last week, that Jesus is 100% man. He was so exhausted that he fell asleep in all this turmoil going on around him. He's simply sleeping. Yet, even in this moment, Jesus shows us that he's 100% God, and that's very clear in the same scripture. He has power over nature and the ability to calm a storm with just words. So here are kind of the two things that stand out to me from this account. And the first thing is that Jesus is right there with them in the chaos. He chooses to be right there. He knows all things, and he decides, hey, I'm going to enter the storm with them and be with them. So we aren't fishermen, and hopefully most of us won't experience being in a squall. I hope the closest thing to a squall that you come to is a shower. But we are all in storms every day. So there's storms happening all around us. Some of us may live with parents who are divorced, or maybe we don't even know our mom or maybe our dad. We live with friends that stab us in the back, and things that don't go as planned, and all other sorts of pain. There's stuff happening everywhere. And what Jesus shows us here is that he desires to be with us in the midst of the storms of our lives. So he's saying, hey, Jessica, I want to be with you. I want to sit with you as you're going through this. And secondly, in this moment, he took a raging storm, complete chaos, and turned it into calmness and brought us complete peace. So on the count of 3, we're all going to scream just really loud. And then when I say 4, I want you to stop. 1, 2, 3. 4. Sorry, I can't scream and say 4 at the same time. 4. Quiet! And then it was like that. It was dead silent. It went from, I don't know what, bizarre, and then it just stopped. And so from this raging storm to complete peace, he has the same power to bring this peace to our own lives. It's no different. We are no different from the crazy storm. And it's not just things that we can see or experience. I think a lot of times there's a lot of stuff that rages inside of us that we keep to ourselves, and for whatever reason we don't want to share it with other people that we're going through it. And so in this time, Jesus offers us hope instead of fear. He offers us comfort instead of worry, and he offers us confidence instead of insecurity. So why choose fear when we can have hope? Or why settle for being worried when he's saying, take comfort in me? And wouldn't you rather have confidence than insecurity? Jesus promises us these things: hope, comfort, and confidence by showing us that he can take a raging storm and knock it out like it's nothing with just his words. And so I want to leave you with two questions as we wrap up tonight. As you're going to sleep tonight and brushing your teeth, I want you to think about this. First off, what are the storms in your life? It could be some of the things that I listed earlier. It could be issues with friends, issues with school, battles that you're facing within. And my second question is, would I allow Jesus to be in those storms with me? Because he's offering, because he desires to be with you in those moments and in those times. So if you guys have any questions, I would love for you to grab a leader, grab me. We want to talk with you, and we want to sort through these things as you're thinking on them. And so call us, text us, say hi to us when you see us at the school. Thanks for listening. I'm going to say a quick prayer for us, and then we're going to head out to Italian Touch. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you so much for today, just the day that you have made for us. I thank you for fun times and laughs and giggles, Lord. Thank you for wanting to be with us amidst the chaos that we face, Lord, against the squalls that we're facing, and the waves that seem unbeatable, Lord. I thank you for taking them on as your own and just calming them, Lord, just for us. God, I thank you for tonight and for Italian food. Lord, I pray over the rest of our weeks, just that they go by smoothly. We love you so much. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.